Hello, good morning, almost good afternoon, and welcome to this Saturday Apple Explained live stream. Um, I woke up about 2 hours ago and I took a shower and then I sat down to do the live stream. So hello everybody. I'm gonna let people file in. We have about 100 people. Usually about 200. So we'll see if we can get to that. Let everyone come in so they don't miss anything. If you haven't seen this before, this is just our normal weekly live stream where you ask me questions about Apple, you ask me questions about YouTube, about me, whatever you want. I'll answer it. This happens for an hour. And then after the hour ends, I do a secret stream for another hour. Only Secret Club members can join that live stream. So if you want to join that live stream, I'm putting a link in the description right now. And I think it's there. Let me check. Let me check the description. It does not look like it's there. Is it there? I don't see it. Are you guys seeing any links in the description? Okay, I got it now. All right, I got it. I just put it in there. If you refresh the stream, you should see a link in the description now. If you want to join that secret stream, which is happening an hour after this. Okay, so let me start answering your questions. Oh, wait a second. This is the wrong. Wait. Oh, I see. There's two different streams going on right now. I don't know how that happened. Okay, I'm trying to get my live stream interface up, but it's not working like it did last time. Hopefully I can get it. Okay, here we go. All right, I got it. That way I can track your guys' super chats. I can track your guys' memberships, all that kind of stuff way easier. All right, Comedian, thank you for that $3 Australian super chat. They said hi. Hi, Comedian, thank you for joining today. Gurman Singh said, do you play PUBG? No, I do not. But that is similar to Fortnite, isn't it? John Rivera said, do you think Epic Games even has a chance at winning? I mean, Apple is a behemoth compared to Epic. Give your honest opinion on this conflict, because apparently even major news publishers going against, and then there's nothing else. I think he meant to say Apple. Okay, here's my thoughts. And this is interesting because I'm making a video about this right now. I could actually show you guys the video. Um, it is very interesting. This is one of those topics where if you do research online, like I typically do for a video, you find a lot of people on both sides of the fence. There are people saying Apple is evil, Apple is a monopoly, Apple is, their rules aren't fair. That's like one side of the fence. The other side is the guy who runs Epic is evil. What's his name? Something. No, Epic Games. Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney. He's this, he is trying to push out competition in the gaming market. He's tried to do it before. He's had complaints with other companies like Microsoft when they were trying to put Fortnite onto that store. They always want special exceptions to the rules made for them, not for anybody else. And they were abusing their position on the App Store to leverage against Apple in an unfair way, just because Epic is the greedy company. Now, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think, yes, these are two companies who are trying to make as much money as possible, and guess what? They're both greedy, and they'll both do anything to make sure they keep making money. Now, Epic wants that 30% cut that Apple's taking. So Epic wants Apple to give a special exception, a special exemption to that App Store rule to Epic Games. How do we know that? Well, it's because the drama is getting juicy. This lawsuit that Epic filed against Apple is requiring Apple to release all these details, all this evidence that we wouldn't see otherwise that happened behind the scenes, where Tim Sweeney and Epic actually emailed Apple and said, we think the App Store is not fair, we think these rules are not right for developers, and we want an exception. Now, Apple has created App Store rules in the past that exempt certain types of apps. For example, I think if you buy or rent a video through Amazon Prime or these other two services, there's more than three, but there's quite a few video services where if you have an account with them, you can use that payment, that payment system or that payment whatever that you signed up with initially to rent that video from Amazon Prime or whatever other app. So there are exceptions in some cases. And Fortnite wanted one of those for themselves. So yes, they were being greedy. They wanted an exception to the rule. What's funny is that these rules have not changed since Fortnite. These rules have not changed ever. Like, Apple has always taken a 30% cut since the App Store opened. Developers have always had to adhere to the same guidelines since the App Store opened. And I think that is going to be a key characteristic in this lawsuit. Because usually when companies practice a monopoly over an entire market, keep in mind, a monopoly legally, from what I know, is defined as control, domination of an entire market. And Apple does not dominate any market. They dominate their own platforms. But that's not a monopoly. You can't say McDonald's has a monopoly on Big Macs. I mean, the Big Mac is McDonald's thing. No one else has a Big Mac. So just like in iPhone and iOS, you can't say Apple is a monopoly of iOS or the App Store, because the App Store only runs on iOS. And iOS is an operating system that's built only for Apple's products, the iPhone and the iPad and the iPod Touch. Apple does not license their operating systems to other manufacturers. Apple does not allow the App Store on any other platform. And Apple does not allow their hardware to run any other operating system. So since they have this vertical setup, I don't think any court system would say they have a monopoly of any market, because they really don't. You could say there's a duopoly between Samsung and Apple of the smartphone industry, because if you combine their market shares, they have well over half of the entire industry. You could say that, but that's not what this case is about. So I think this is very interesting, because I think Fortnite kind of shot themselves in the foot because they were too greedy. Fortnite was, and that's exactly why it's so public. Like, if you're wondering, why is Epic Games going to the media? Why did they release that weird Apple 1980 Fortnite video. Why are they promoting these free Fortnite hashtags? Why are they doing all this stuff? They're making it so public. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Apple is always fighting like lawsuits. I mean, legal issues happen all the time in the corporate world. It's just not a matter for the media, so most of us don't know about it. The two companies just take care of it legally behind the scenes, typically. So the reason why Fortnite is making this such a spectacle, and the reason why they're using social media and in traditional media to promote their cause or their movement against Apple, they're framing it as like, we are taking on Goliath. We are taking on this massive monster, and we are brave, and we need your help, and we need to all come together and just take down Apple. That's how they're framing this. And what's hilarious is Epic Games is not a small studio. I mean, I believe it's worth billions of dollars. I believe it's 11 or 12 billion. They're probably one of the biggest game developers in existence. They're a Goliath themselves, and they're using their position as a Goliath to force Apple's hand and say, we want an exception to the rule, or else we are going to not be on your app store, and maybe some people won't buy your products because it can't run Fortnite or whatever. But here is the thing. They shot themselves in the foot. They boxed themselves in a corner because Apple does not care. Apple has nothing to lose from this situation. If Fortnite is never on the App Store again, Apple doesn't care. There might be a few 11-year-olds who think, oh, if iPhones don't run Fortnite, I'm not going to buy an iPhone. But that's a tiny fraction of a percent of Apple customers. And Apple does not care at all. And it's going to hurt Fortnite. If Fortnite is not on the App Store, if Fortnite has their developer account closed and they can't access the Unreal Engine that they've built for a lot of their gaming apps, and I think other games use that Unreal Engine also. If Apple just completely shuts them down and kneecaps Fortnite and kneecaps the whole Epic Games company from all their platforms, it's going to hurt Fortnite a million times more than Apple. And it's going to cause Fortnite to say, okay, Fortnite will be the ones caving in and begging their way back on the App Store because they make so much money from the App Store, even if Apple does take a 30% cut of all the payments made through the app. So it's very interesting. The video will probably be out tomorrow. Sort of just going through all this drama. It's very juicy. Apple is like, oh my goodness, it's hilarious because Apple does not like drama. Apple does not get involved in drama. They're very professional, and they're handling this in a very professional way. And it's just funny because Tim Sweeney in Epic Games is trying to provoke Apple. They're trying to get like a response, and Apple is just sending, like, if you read through these emails, like Epic Games will send like 5 emails to Apple that's like very dramatic, okay? And then Apple responds, and it's like, we've noticed that your app has broken our rules. And then it like outlines the exact rules. Per the guidelines, your app has been removed from the store. If you would like to be reinstated, please fix these breaches of the guidelines and resubmit your app. Like, they're sending this like generic, hilarious email to Epic Games, like one of the most popular gaming studios in the world, and they're treating them like they would any other developer, because that's exactly what Apple does. That's what I love about Apple. And so it's just hilarious. And then they get mad. Of course, Fortnite got mad. They did all this stupid stuff. So anyway, it's a very good topic. So do I think Fortnite is going to win this case? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, in 2013, Apple had a similar case. They were sued because of that 30% cut. Some company was arguing customers are overpaying for in-app purchases since Apple is adding that 30% like tax, even though that's not necessarily true. In some cases it is. But that's not something you can win a lawsuit over. And of course, they lost that lawsuit. And that judge who determined that case is the same judge who will be determining this Fortnite case. So since she made that decision before in a similar case, I don't think there's any precedent to suggest, that ruling will change in this case. And honestly, I think what Epic is trying to do is they know they're going to lose. I think they know they're going to lose the lawsuit. That's why they're making it as public as possible. Because I think they want to become a martyr. I think they want to use this case as they want to make Apple look bad. They want to make all their players hate Apple. And keep in mind, gamers already have a bias against Apple. Like, Apple is already not liked well within the gaming community, and they are a gaming company. So you take that like seed of hatred that someone has for a company, and then you can just water it with this, oh, Apple is oppressing us and we're trying to fight against them, but they're a big evil corporation, as you already know. And then that hate flower just grows, and then they can pluck that flower and use it and show it to Apple and be like, look at all these people who hate you. Why don't you do what we say, and then people will like you again. I really think they're trying to force Apple's hand in the court of public opinion rather than the court of law, because what they're arguing in the court of law doesn't hold up. It's not going to hold up. City View, thank you for that 5,000 Korean super chat. City View said, hi, I'm not sleeping on purpose because I really want to see your live stream. Oh, I appreciate that. It's now 1 a.m. in South Korea. That is crazy. You're going to be up late, City View. Thank you for watching. Sponge Pants 5000, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, how old are you? I am 27. Devish Chopra, thank you for that 40, I don't know what that is, the 40-something super chat. They said, who will be the next CEO of Apple? I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone like, I don't know, honestly. I was going to say Craig Federighi, but that doesn't make sense. It really does have to be an operations person. Who's the operations person right now? COO? Jeff Williams, that's right. It may be someone like Jeff Williams, although he's already 57 years old. Yeah, I could see Jeff Williams doing that. And it's hard. I know that's not like appealing, I guess. You want to say someone like Craig Federighi because he's charming and we all know who he is, and he's the one on stage giving these awesome presentations, just like Steve Jobs did. But the thing about Steve Jobs that a lot of people didn't recognize is, yeah, he had this charming side and he had this charisma that's unmatched. He had this ability to give presentations that's unmatched. But that's not what makes a good CEO. You know what I mean? Like, that was a bonus that Steve Jobs had in him. He was an incredible operator and manager. I mean, he could bring together talent, and he understood how to create an optimal environment to take advantage of the talent at his companies. That's why Pixar did so well. That's why Apple did so well. He just knew how to manage companies. And that is the key of a good CEO, is understanding your talent and how to get the best out of those people. And Tim Cook obviously is incredible at that. And his bonus, it's not the charm or the charisma that Steve Jobs had. Tim Cook's bonus is like operations. Like, yeah, he knows how to manage people. He knows how to get the best out of his talent. He knows how to organize a company. But his operations genius is off the charts. It's why Steve Jobs wanted to hire him so badly back in the 90s. And the fact that they got Tim Cook was really a miracle. I mean, it really was incredible that Steve Jobs was able to convince Tim Cook to join Apple at that time. He was already at in an executive position at Compaq in the 90s. And Compaq was one of the biggest, they're probably one of the top 3 computer companies in the world at that time. And Apple was on its way to bankruptcy. So the fact that Tim Cook left Compaq, basically like the Apple of its day, and went to like what's a failing company right now? I don't even know if there's an equivalent, but he went to a company that was about to go bankrupt. I don't think he gets enough respect. I don't think Tim Cook gets enough respect for that risk he took. And he really did say it was intuition. He said it was like his intuition was telling him to join Apple, and it would somehow be the right thing to do. Even though on paper, by the numbers, it was not the right choice to make. And that's why I think Tim Cook, because he has sort of a dry personality, because he's not super like charismatic, people paint him into this caricature of he's a bean counter, he's a numbers guy. He doesn't have any not soul, but like he doesn't have any like artistic element about him, and he doesn't care about products. He doesn't know about products. He may not be a product guy, but he has an intuition, and he understands long term that something can pay off that may not necessarily by the numbers look like it will pay off today. Anyway, who do I think will be the next CEO of Apple? Probably Jeff Williams. I have no idea, but I think a lot will change. I mean, I think Tim Cook has a very long career ahead of him. How old is he? I mean, he's 59. I mean, he could easily serve for another 10 years. And honestly, like knowing Tim Cook's personality, I mean, I don't know him personally, but from what I've heard about him, he's a workaholic and he loves work. He's not married. He doesn't have like kids or anything. He seems to be a bit of a, I don't want to say loner, but his focus in life is work. And Steve Jobs really wasn't like that. I mean, you could say he was a workaholic. Yes, that was his number one focus, but he also had other important things going on in his life, like his family, like Pixar, and he was on the board at Disney. I think Tim Cook would want to serve as long as possible at Apple. I think he really loves it. I think he feels lucky. I think he feels this is his purpose, and he's achieved it. And I don't think he's going to want to give it up anytime soon, unless something comes up, unless something happens. Comedian, thank you for that $3 Australian super chat. Comedian said, what time is it for you? Right now, it's 12:19 p.m. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Alex Zabel, thank you for that $7 Canadian super chat. Alex said, why does Japan have just 10 Apple stores for a country with that population? I think on average, most foreign countries don't have as many Apple stores like per capita as in the US. I mean, you have to think, Apple didn't enter like foreign countries at the same time. Well, I guess they kind of did. I think London, UK was the first one in a foreign country, and it was in the early days. But yeah, I think, I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. You also have to think maybe Apple may not be as popular in certain foreign countries as it is in the US, or they're still in the process of expanding there. I think in the early days of Apple stores, if you were to look at Apple stores in 2005, which is 4 years after the first one opened in the US, you would think, why isn't there more Apple stores in XYZ locations? You know, why is there only one Apple store in New York City? There should be more. But that's kind of where and I think Japan is kind of in that position too, where it's still in the early stages of expanding. Apple is in the early stages of expanding into Japan, places like Japan. They're just now opening a store in India. And if you think about the population of India, why doesn't Apple already have stores there? There are certain issues like Apple wasn't allowed to build a retail store in India because they didn't have 30% of their manufacturing in India, and that's a requirement in order for a company to build a retail store in India. So Apple established manufacturing. There's just all sorts of things that are just unique situations that are different than the US. Also, I think we'll continue to see Apple stores opening. I mean, Apple has already opened I think 3 new Apple stores in Japan in the last couple years. So they're expanding pretty quickly, and I think that it'll continue to expand more and maybe even quicker. But I do want more Apple stores in Japan. That would be awesome. I mean, the Apple stores they're building there are really cool. Really, really cool. Sponge Pants 5000, thank you for that $3 super chat. Sponge Pants said, what Apple devices do you have and use? I have my iPhone 11 Pro Max. That's what I'm using right now to do this live stream. I have my 16-inch MacBook Pro. That's what I'm using for my, to make my videos. I have an Apple Watch. This is the Series 4. It's the 44 millimeter model. I have two Apple TVs, two fourth generation Apple TVs, one in my bedroom, one in my living room. I have 4 HomePods, don't ask about that. I have an iPad Pro 11-inch from 2018. I have... Is that it? I think that's it. iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, Apple TV, HomePod, computer, MacBook, iPhone. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Let's go back. Those are the super chats. Okay, so people are asking, budget MacBook, will Apple release a budget iMac, whatever? Here's what's going to happen. When Apple transitions to ARM, it's going to do a few things, and one of those things is going to be a cheaper price. That's what rumors are saying so far. It makes sense, because if you think about it, I really need a haircut. Look at this. Look at all this. Look at all that. And then you got it going over the ear here. When I wear these headphones, it like pushes against your ear, and it will push my hair into my ear. And I have to it tickles too much. Okay, what was I saying? ARM Macs will be cheaper. And it makes sense because if you think of the original iPad in 2010, everybody expected it to start at $1,000. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're fairly young, you may not know the rumors of the original iPad. Because rumors were going around in 2008, 2009 that Apple was making a tablet. And if you're 13 or 14 years old, that was, you were being born at that time, so you probably don't know, but everyone thought it was going to be $1,000 because they were comparing it to the price structure of the Mac instead of the price structure of the iPhone. And the reason why the iPad could be so affordable is in part because of its chip, which was Apple's custom A4 chipset, Apple's custom chip. And when it came to the Mac, they were using the Intel chip, which is more expensive in many different ways and contributes to an increased price retail for customers. So I think when that iPhone, iPad strategy is applied to the Mac, it will be cheaper. Rumors are saying a MacBook could start at $800, which is $200 less than the cheapest MacBook Air today. That would be incredible. And consider, it's not only getting cheaper, you're also getting most likely an amazing new design, even better design, even better performance than today. At that point, it's a no-brainer to buy a Mac. At that point, I think Apple has a potential to completely change their position in the computer market, especially the notebook market. I think today Apple has 11-12% market share of computers. I think that could potentially double. With the transition to ARM. If you guys aren't getting your questions answered, remember there's over 200 people watching right now asking questions. You can do two things. Send a super chat, which will highlight your question and I'll answer it. to join our free Discord server. It's free, link in the description. You go over there, you get to ask one question in the after stream channel over on the free Discord server. I will be on there after both of these live streams, and I'll answer your one question per person. If you want to ask more than one question, what you should do is join our secret club. That happens right after this one. This is going to end in about half an hour. Then there's going to be a secret stream. There's usually only about 15 to 20 people, and you can ask me as many questions as you want. You get my undivided attention. I answer virtually every single question in this secret stream, which is happening right after this one ends. Zeal Patel said, what Apple qualities indicate that Apple's engineering team is more brilliant than other tech companies' engineering teams? This is kind of a complicated question because you're isolating it too much. One thing Apple does well is collaboration across teams. Like, the engineering team at Apple does not work in a silo. Like, they do not work in a vacuum. They're very collaborative with the design teams, with the manufacturing teams, with the marketing teams. They're all working together all the time. I believe, at least under Steve Jobs, they were having meetings every week to update each other and be on the same page in terms of what they're developing. And I think that approach to collaboration across teams is the key to Apple's magic. I really think that. Because if you think about it, there are companies, in fact, it's very common to take the approach of you go to the design team and you say, design something cool. Let's say a car. You have a car, the design team designs this really cool concept car. No one's ever seen anything like it. They take that design, and when I say they, I'm talking about the management. Management takes that design, takes it over to the engineering team and says, can this be created? Can you engineer this? And then the engineering team says, we can't do that, we can't do that. You can keep that in there, we might be able to do that, but you have to remove these things. So then they remove those things, take it over to the manufacturing team, because remember, mass manufacturing is extremely difficult, and I think it's one of the most underrated skills for a company to have, because it's very easy to build one incredible product. The question is, can you mass manufacture that incredible products to a scale of millions in a month? You know what I'm saying? That's very difficult. So then you take it to the manufacturing team, and then you say, can we manufacture 100,000 of these things in a month? And then the manufacturing team says, well, it's going to be really hard with that component or this aspect of it. That's really going to be a bottleneck. It's going to slow down the manufacturing time. So you're going to want to get rid of those things. And then we can speed it up to where we want it to be. Okay, so then those elements get removed. Then what you have is an incohesive design, an incohesive product, sort of like a less than optimal product that the design team probably doesn't even recognize at the end of the process as when they had designed it at the beginning of the process, because these teams aren't collaborating on the product. They're operating in a vacuum. And that is the problem. I think that's the problem a lot of companies have, honestly. Oh, Christopher Dixon, thank you for that $2 super chat. Christopher said, I'm sad that you're not drinking Coke Zero. You know what? I haven't been able to find Coke Zero recently. This whole virus situation has affected pop stock, I guess. I haven't been able to find my Diet Barks root beer. I haven't been able to find Coke Zero. I haven't been able to find, I feel like there's something else. But anyway, yeah, I've been sticking to the Diet Mountain Dew. There has been a lot of Diet Mountain Dew. Ayob Betchmoom said, how can I choose between MacBook Pro or Air? Well, if you are doing something like super intense, like really processor intensive, maybe you should buy the MacBook Pro. But honestly, I think for what most people do with their computers nowadays, if you're not doing like this work on it, like video editing, photo editing, 3D rendering, all that kind of stuff, the MacBook Air today is way more powerful than it's ever been. And if you upgrade the processor of the base model MacBook Air to that quad core option, you're getting performance that's comparable to the 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro. I remember when I was shopping for a MacBook, I had the 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro. That was a quad-core machine. And I was looking at the MacBook Air because now it has a quad-core processor. And the processing performance was virtually the same as my MacBook Pro, which is incredible considering it was released just 3 years ago. So don't underestimate the MacBook Air. It is not nearly as weak as it used to be. It is capable of doing quite a few things. For people asking about Fortnite, I talked for like probably 10 minutes about Fortnite at the beginning of this live stream. So check out the beginning of this live stream, or just wait for a couple days. I'm going to end up releasing a video about that situation. Keys said, October event predictions. Can't wait for the glasses. I don't think glasses are happening this year. It's not going to happen this year. For October, supposedly the iPhone is going to have its own like Apple event for October, but we also saw a leak of a live stream test on YouTube from the Apple account for September 10th. And I will say the source of the rumor that the Apple Watch and iPads are coming out in September with no event, and the iPhone is coming out in October with an event, that rumor was started by Jon Prosser. And he has a very, very unreliable track record. So I don't really believe it necessarily. And since we saw that September 10th leak from Apple, the YouTube Apple account, I think what might happen is Apple will have an event on September 10th, and they'll introduce everything like the Apple Watch, the iPhone, the iPad, as they typically do. But then they're just going to say the iPhone won't go on sale until the next month, October. I think that's much more likely. Because they have done that before. I mean, when the original iPhone came out, they had an event, and it didn't go on sale for 3 months after. So oh, I don't have slow mode on. Hold on. Slow mode. People are spamming. All right, slow mode is on. Bilal said, do you think that Force Touch will be removed from the next Apple Watch, Series 7? Well, the next Apple Watch is going to be the Series 6. It would not surprise me at all. I think it may be removed. It may be removed because Honestly, everyone I know who has an Apple Watch doesn't even know about that capability. Like they don't even know that they can like press hard on the screen and it's going to do something. And that's exactly what happened with the iPhone. Like when Apple introduced what was called 3D Touch at the time, they changed the name to Force Touch. That was introduced on the iPhone 6s, and it was a feature until the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 when it was removed. People who had the iPhones with that feature didn't even know it. I mean, some people did, but most people didn't know it existed. Cyano Tex, thank you for that $5 UK super chat. Cyano said Apple Card is classified as financial technology service. Do you think it can compete with the likes of N26, Boonk, Revolut, etc.? I don't know what any of that is. I'm gonna have to Google this. N26. N26 is a German neobank. All right, let's see what that means. Neobank. Type of direct bank that is 100% digital and does not operate a physical branch network, okay? German neobank, headquartered in Germany, currently offers its services throughout a number of states. Okay, is that what all the rest is? So these are like, this is like Ally Bank, right? Because Ally is an online bank. Boonk is a active neobank. I like that word neobank, makes it sound like cool. I mean, it's not a bank. Like Apple Card, it's not a bank. You know what I mean? It's a credit card. So I don't know if it can compete with actual banks. Now, could Apple add that functionality in the future? Yeah, I guess they could. That would be kind of surprising, though. I don't think Apple is trying to get into the bank industry. Oh, Cormac said 3D Touch was removed starting with the iPhone XR. Oh, was it on the iPhone 10? I didn't know that. Oh, I guess it was. Estro Bink said, is the public beta 5 battery life good for iOS 14? Also, I've been a big fan of this channel for 2 years. Keep it up, my man. Lastly, hope you and your boyfriend are doing well. Thank you, I appreciate that. I don't use public betas. I never download betas. Never, ever. I want my phone to be reliable, stable, and optimized. And usually those are not, that's not the case when you download a beta. Led said, why do people hate Apple? That is a really good question. You know what? I should make a video about that. I should make a video. Because this goes back. Like, this goes back. Why people hate Apple. I remember as a kid, when I first got into Apple, when I was like 12 years old, back when Apple wasn't as, if they weren't as prominent, they weren't as well known, even back then, I would talk to people about Apple and they would be like, oh my God, I hate Apple. And I'm like, why? Like, what is there to hate about Apple, about a company like that? And I don't know, the reasons were just very strange. Like, oh, it's for, you know, like people thought Apple was overpriced. It's a status symbol. It's one of those luxury brands for people who just want to show off. All the designs are the same. There's nothing unique about Apple products. They're way too controlling. They control everything about the device. They don't let the customer control anything themselves. The products are very closed off. You know, they don't let you open it up and tinker around with things that inside the product. I think Apple has just always been seen as this, what's the right word? Like this, I don't want to say dictator, but kind of like that, like this monolithic entity that's going to tell you exactly what to do with your product. It's not going to let you be free. You're going to be sort of like shackled to whatever Apple it is they want you to do with their product, even though you bought it yourself. And that is inherently a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really get that feeling from people. And people who use their products are stupid. They're stupid because, number one, they don't recognize that Apple is this like evil corporation trying to lock down their customers. And that's why they're stupid. Number two, they're stupid because they must not understand technology. Because if you understand technology, you would realize that Windows PCs are inherently better because, you can do so much more with the Windows PC. You have so much more freedom with the Windows PC. And the same happened with Android. You were stupid if you owned an iPhone because that meant you didn't understand technology. People would say, if Android is too complicated, then you're just stupid. So use an iPhone because you're stupid anyway, and you can give Apple your money. I mean, that's really how people would talk about Apple users. And I just found that so ridiculous. I always thought that was so simplistic and like, how can you say that? How can you say that? Because if you really think about it, and this is such a good example. I love this example. There are people who think if I have choices, it's better. If I have 5 choices between something, you could say anything. Having choices is better than not having choices. That is a very ignorant way to think. It really is. You don't truly understand product creation if you think choice is always good. Because think about it this way. Samsung, when they released the, I don't know which Galaxy phone it was. One of their Galaxy phones had a face scanner, an iris scanner, a fingerprint scanner. They had 3 biometric security methods to unlock your phone. And they touted this. They were saying, our phone, I think it was in 2017 when the iPhone 10 came out, because the iPhone 10 only offered a Face ID, that was it. So Samsung said, we have 3 different ways for you to secure your device. So therefore, it's like 3 times better than an iPhone, right? Because the iPhone only lets you have 1 way to secure your device. But here's the thing, though. Here is the thing. And a lot of people who are entrenched in the tech industry, who are just so overcome with their tech knowledge, they don't understand some customers don't want to choose. Some customers want to buy something and have it work. They just want it to work. Whatever it is, whether it's a fingerprint scanner, whether it's a face scanner, whether it's an iris scanner, they just want it to work. They don't care which one it is. So what happened in that case with Samsung? Customers buy this phone and they realize the face scanner is not reliable at all. And in fact, if you held up a picture of yourself to the camera, it would recognize your face and unlock your phone. So it was not secure at all. It was the least secure method, the face scanner. The iris scanner didn't even work half the time. That was the most unreliable way to unlock your phone because it only worked 50% of the time. And then the fingerprint scanner was the most reliable and the fastest. The problem was they had to put it on the back of the phone to make room for all the other scanners on the front of the phone. And that fingerprint scanner was right next to the camera bump. So when you would reach to scan your fingerprint to unlock your phone, people would get confused. Are they touching the camera bump? Are they touching the scanner? They would have to turn the phone over to make sure they were touching the right thing. It was a very awkward experience. And guess what? That choice was a weakness of that product. That choice resulted in a compromised product that did not deliver a good user experience. It delivered a confusing experience, and it delivered an unreliable experience, and it delivered an insecure experience. That is the fault. That is the problem with people who think that way. People who think, oh, I can side load apps. I can run emulators on Android, so therefore it's better. I can adjust all these advanced settings. I have all this control. Therefore, this is a better product because I can customize it to my liking. Sure, maybe that's good for you. Most people don't want to mess with that. Most people see that as a headache. They do not want to mess with the settings in their smartphone. They don't even know what sideloading an app means. And the fact that you can do that inherently makes the operating system insecure, because malware and viruses can be loaded so much easier onto Android, just like with Windows. There are faults, there are compromises to any product. So for anyone to say Apple is bad, Apple products suck, iPhones suck, Android is better, PCs are better, are so simple. They're so ignorant. I don't mean they're stupid. They're probably smart people, but they don't have the information required to understand that that the product isn't better or worse. PCs aren't better or worse. Macs aren't better or worse. The question is, what do you value in a product? Do you want a product where you can customize the settings and do all that advanced stuff and have these choices, even though it comes at a cost? It comes at a cost of the user experience. And that's why people will buy Android phones, be confused, not like it, understand it's not a seamless, optimized operating system, or they see ads in their weather app, or they see ads in settings. There are ads in some of these Android skins, some of these Android operating systems, which is absolutely incredible. Can you imagine having an ad in the middle of the weather app on the iPhone? I would never use the product again. So anyway, that's why people choose Apple. And people will hate on Apple, and it's very popular on the internet. It's so popular on the internet where these simple people all come together and hate on Apple. They jump on this bandwagon and they all stroke each other's egos about how smart they are because they are enlightened that PCs are better or Android is so much better and they're free of Apple's, being locked down by Apple. Little do they realize, if they own a Samsung smartphone, which is Android, Samsung is trying to lock you down just like Apple is trying to lock you down. They have their own Samsung ecosystem to keep you with their company, to keep you buying their products. Google is trying to have their own ecosystem. Amazon is trying to have their own ecosystem. Microsoft is trying to have their own ecosystem. Just because Apple is the best, just because Apple has the most cohesive, seamless, convenient ecosystem, doesn't mean they're the most evil. They're just the best. That's why I love Apple. So yeah, that's why people hate Apple, and I can't stand people who are like that. Izzy Real said ads on Android is why my mom switched to Apple. Yeah. I honestly didn't even know that was a thing. I honestly didn't even know any modern smartphone operating system had ads baked into it. And when I found that out, I was actually on the Android subreddit and people were talking about ads in the weather app. And I'm just thinking, are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're paying $1,000 or more for a smartphone, and it comes with ads? And you guys not only are using this smartphone, you think it's better? Who's stupid? Who's stupid? It's not me. I don't have ads in my weather app. Oh my God, it's incredible. It is incredible, the hypocrisy of these people. Henry Hill says, everyone in my school says Apple just releases the same iPhone every year, but in a different color and a bit bigger. Tell them to go do something, because if they think, tell them, look at the most recent Samsung phone. Literally, go look at the S20. Go look at the Note S20. Go look at the Galaxy S20. What's new about it? Virtually nothing. Even last, I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible, the hypocrisy. And I will say, there are Android users who will admit that the reality is hardware innovation in the smartphone industry, since it's such a mature market, is slowing. This is typical. This happens to every market that's become saturated and mature. The smartphone market is over 13 years old. There's only so much you can do in a year to really change a product. It's not just Apple, it's Samsung, it's Google, it's every single company. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Matthew Sherman, thank you for that $1 Canadian super chat. Apagu said the ads aren't necessarily on Android. They say Android. It's usually the OEMs who bake them in. And that is the problem. And guess what? That problem only exists on Android. It does not exist on iOS. It is a flaw with Android, because what Android does, Google makes Android. Google doesn't put the ads on Android. Google makes the Android operating system ad-free, and then they license it. This is the operating system. They license it, bloop. It transfers hands to a different company. Then this company, who is the manufacturer, Samsung, HP, LG, all these manufacturers, they can do whatever they want to that operating system. They can add skins, they can add ads, they can add bloatware, which bloatware, another huge problem. They can add all this junk to that operating system, and then guess what? They're selling it to you. Here you go, here's all our junk that we're putting onto you. Good luck messing with it, good luck trudging through it and sorting everything out. I mean, that is disgusting to do to a customer that's paying $1,000 for a phone. It's really disgusting. It's cheap. It's only on Android. So someone said rip Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah. You gotta crush your bottles. You gotta crush your bottles. Pulkit said, how do you make your video explainers? Recently, I mean, it's been changing, but recently I make them in Keynote. And then I just use the record feature that's right in Keynote, and I record the audio as I'm clicking through the slides. And you know what's really hilarious is that people will complain about Apple being overpriced. Guess who released a $1,400 smartphone? Not Apple, Samsung. Guess who released a $2,000 smartphone, the Galaxy Fold? Not Apple, Samsung. Guess who released the most powerful $400 phone on the market? Not Samsung, Apple. People who want to think a certain way, people who want to believe Apple's overpriced, they will continue believing it in their own heads, even if reality proves them wrong. You know what I mean? And that's probably one of the most frustrating things. And that's not only with like the tech industry, that's across life in general. People who want to believe something will only focus on evidence that supports their belief, even if there is evidence contrary to that belief. You know what I'm saying? It's very frustrating. All right, so this live stream is about to end. If you want to see another hour's worth of live stream in the secret stream, be sure to click the link in the description to join the secret club. It's $3 a month. You get an extra hour of live streaming every week. We'll be there. I'll be answering all your guys' questions. I get to ask you guys questions, and you get to ask me questions in the secret stream. It's much more personal. If not, you can always join our free Discord server. The link is also in the description. And And you can ask one question on our Discord server. I do want to answer this though. Scott says you are asking the same thing. You are asking the same thing. You only want to believe. Very condescending. Scott, I don't know if you just heard my argument, but you did not, because that's not what I said. I did not say iOS or Apple is better than Samsung or Android. That's not what I said. I said what is best for you depends on your needs, Scott. Do you understand that? There are people saying Samsung or Microsoft or PCs are inherently better, that people who use Apple products are stupid. I'm not saying people who use Android products are stupid. I'm saying their needs are different than people who use Apple products, Scott. So please understand my argument before you start coming in here and saying I'm condescending. All right. If you want to ask more questions, again, become a Secret Club member. We'll be doing some more rants and raves and fun conversations over there for the next hour. If you're already part of the Secret Club, make sure you check the Discord server, and I will be posting a link to the secret stream on our Secret Club channel on Discord. Also, you can keep an eye on the community tab on my YouTube channel, because I'll be posting a members only post with the live stream link there. So that's how you can access the live stream if you're part of the Secret Club. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week.